We're taking a trip around the world to find out which country has the best barbecue. Best single bite of food I've ever had in my entire life.
What?
From refined Japanese yakitori to hand-sliced Turkish shawarma, today we're calling in the experts and even flying out a 1,000-mile takeout order from the highest-rated barbecue restaurant in the world. Because life's greatest question must be answered. Which country is the king of the grill? Starting with the 11th most popular global barbecue style based on your votes, we have Filipino lechon. As the video progresses, each barbecue style will get continuously more popular, but I'll be doing my own taste test to be the judge of that. And we're getting it started with a whole suckling pig. And inside the pig, we have a whole bunch of flavors. I'll start by seasoning the inside with a bunch of salt, as well as some black pepper. Next, we'll be adding some lemongrass. It's filled with these bright and almost citrusy notes, and we'll just smash it to release the flavor. We'll throw that in the cavity. We'll smash up some garlic, get that in there as well. We'll add in the chopped leeks, some bay leaves, star anise, and some slices of ginger. Now we're actually just gonna sew the cavity so it's nice and tight. And we'll just finish by hitting it with a bunch of kosher salt. And we'll get it on the grill. Just slow smoking on the rotisserie for a beautiful golden brown color. And I'm actually glazing with evaporated milk, which is traditional, for even more caramelization and color. And after just over 4 hours, our Filipino lechon is done. This thing looks absolutely stunning, and the smell is incredible. Oh, she juicy. Right here we got the belly meat, which is essentially the bacon. In my opinion, the best part. It's these really long muscle fibers, and it's just so juicy and tender. Here we have the shoulder area, and as you can see, it is just insanely tender. Right off the bone, we even got these little baby ribs. Baby backs, you might say.
Baby back ribs.
That is fantastic. And starting off with Filipino barbecue, we have lechon. Wow, you can really taste the lemongrass. I was worried that all the stuff we added to the inside wouldn't actually do anything, but that is extremely flavorful.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest fan.
Say what?
I wanted the meat to just not be so fatty.
I think the cook style is super unique and really fun. I think it's just kind of in the middle ground for flavor.
Clearly some very mixed reviews. How do you guys want to rate this one?
I'd probably put it somewhere in the middle.
I mean, it's average.
We're gonna put this in 7th place out of 11, but as we taste more, that could very well change. We are traveling all the way to India. In 10th place, it's chicken tandoori. But here's the thing about Indian food. I know pretty much nothing about it, so we're gonna call one of the best Indian chefs in the entire world. I mean, he has a Michelin star to his name. Let's give Akshay a call. What's up, man? It looks like you are at work, so I'll make this really quick. I just have one question. What is the key to chicken tandoori?
One is definitely the kind of chicken that you're using. Bone-in chicken is the way to go. Then the second part is that you're marinating your chicken at least for a night to 2 nights. The marination has yogurt, ginger garlic paste, and then spices. It really kind of depends on the chef. Cumin, coriander, chili powder, which kind of helps give the famous like red color to it. And of course, garam masala. Score the chicken to make sure that you're getting that marination deep in there. But the last main important thing, put the chicken in a tandoor. But of course, if you don't have a tandoor, you really got to make sure that you're cooking it over charcoal to get that smoky flavor to it.
Perfect. That is everything I needed to hear and more. But hey, man, I really appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, see ya. I think we know everything we need to know. Let's give it a shot. We'll start the marination with yogurt, ginger garlic paste, salt, all of those aromatic spices, lemon and olive oil, and we'll give it a mix. Now just covering in the marinade, getting it deep in all the crevices. It already smells so good. Let's let this marinate. It has been 2 long days. Let's see what we got. This just looks like the most flavorful chicken ever. And let's get it on the grill. Keeping the heat quite high for crispiness. Me, Tibby, and some chicken tandoori. Does life get any better than this? And basting with chili butter for additional flavor and moisture. I have to say it looks pretty good, but I do have a dirty little secret. Yes, clearly we have a little bit of burn action going on the bottom, but hopefully it'll still come out good. Served with a range of Indian spices and sauces. I mean, my mouth is watering just looking at it. Chicken tandoori.
That is damn good.
I love that.
It doesn't taste like barbecue, but it is packed with flavor.
It's like a punch of flavor. It's really intense, but in a very good way. It chars up nicely, and paired with naan, it's delicious.
The way that all those spices toast up from the grill, it's just a flavor bomb.
This one was very surprising, significantly higher than we thought. I mean, India isn't really known for their barbecue, but for now, it's going in 4th place. In 9th place, we're making our way all the way to Japan with Japanese yakitori. Yakitori literally translates to grilled bird, and in this case, it's all about chicken. True yakitori is a craft that takes literally thousands and thousands of attempts to get right, but we're gonna try our best. Focusing on the thigh and separating at the joint here. Doing my best to leave on the oyster, which is a prized cut of the chicken. Now separating the drum from the thigh. There's a white seam here that I'll run my knife through, which exposes the bone. And now I can easily remove that bone from the thigh. Next, we have the inner thigh right here. Next, we have the prized oyster, leaving the skin on. Now we'll flip and actually remove the skin, mostly do it by hand. Now we'll cube this up into roughly 1-inch squares. We have our 3 pieces of chicken thigh, green onions in between. Let's skewer. Again, I am most certainly not a master yet, but this is the way to do it based on my research authentically. And we're left with our perfect skewer of yakitori, finishing with a touch of sake and salt. And we're grilling on what might just be the smallest yakitori grill of all time, using some high quality binchotan charcoal that burns extremely hot and consistently. And now just glazing with a nice yakitori sauce. Just like that, it is time for Japanese yakitori.
Where's mine?
Here we go.
Oh, thanks.
That has a surprising amount of flavor for how simple it is. It's really just grilled chicken, but like the sake and also the green onion just like really elevates it.
Japanese food, specifically like sushi, that style is my favorite food. So I really appreciate the style.
Yes.
I don't think that the flavor is something that's blowing my mind. It's so good.
Very much a curated bite, and it's very yummy, but it's not like I want to go for more. I will say that little grill is freaking adorable, and I'm gonna save it forever.
On that note, we'll be putting Japanese yakitori in 8th place. Coming in 8th place, we have one that hits home for me. It's time for Chinese barbecue, otherwise known as chwar. Chinese barbecue is a popular street food that I ate more times than I can count while living overseas. Vendors have their grills out at various intersections in the city. It really is the perfect convenience snack. And as you can see, we have a really nice balance of fat in between the more lean meat. For the next steps, sort of acting as a binder and also adding flavor, we have some Shaoxing wine, and we'll paint all sides. There's a very distinctive seasoning blend, starting with cumin seeds, some ground fennel, chili powder, garlic powder, and salt. And we'll get them all seasoned up. Besides meat, they offer a wide range of skewered vegetables. It's basically a giant skewered food buffet. Everything is then grilled over hot charcoal until they've developed a nice crust. I always found this comical, but they'd often use a hair dryer to keep the coals hot. And after only a short wait, our Chinese barbecue is done. This one brings me back. I will say probably 9 out of 10 times we've eaten this, it was like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just like sitting on the side of the road.
The best, the guy with the hair dryer blowing the coals.
yes.
Yeah, good times.
The whole meal cost like 20 cents too, which was great.
Damn.
I will say this is probably a lot higher quality meat than we were usually eating. That's legit.
Yeah.
That is spot on, extremely high quality chwar. The cumin flavor is super powerful, the chili's great, and I think this is my favorite way to eat lamb. It takes away all of the gaminess from it.
This does not feel like Chinese food. It just tastes like a whole different cuisine.
This is only one style of Chinese barbecue. I'm sure there's many, many more. It's simple and it tastes amazing, but how does it stack up against the rest of this list?
Probably 5th place, right behind India.
I kind of think it's better than India.
I think this moves to 4, India moves to 5, and let's move on. And we have made it to number 10. It's time for Turkish shawarma. Also known as doner kebab, Turkish shawarma consists of heavily seasoned, thinly sliced meat. It's often made with lamb or beef, but today I'm going with chicken, and I can already tell this is gonna be packed with flavor. And just like that, it's marinated for 24 hours. Time to add to the rotisserie. Well, it's been a minute since we've kneaded this thing, but it's time to whip out the Shawarma Master 5000. This style of vertical rotisserie has to be one of the coolest ways to grill meat. It's been a couple hours. Ow, that's hot. Ah. It's been a few hours. Let's see what we got. And now it's time for the fun part. The juicy, tender meat is sliced right off the rotisserie into manageable slices that are perfect for a sandwich. To a pita, we add garlic sauce, the chicken, and a variety of vegetables. Next, we'll add some French fries. Critical that you go with homemade. We'll just finish with a little more of that garlic sauce. Very messy, but it's time for Turkish shawarma. An absolute explosion of flavor, but it kind of feels like fast food barbecue. Just something about it doesn't feel as refined. Like, I really enjoy it, but to me it doesn't feel as elevated.
I don't really want the bread there along with the chicken because then I can't taste the chicken flavor. And then the sauce is on top, and then the fries on top. It's like a sandwich. I'm not really big into sandwiches.
Inconceivable!
You don't like sandwiches?
I like tuna fish sandwiches.
The sauce is amazing. It all works really well together, but I can't put it like really high on the list of just the best barbecues.
So I think it would go at the bottom.
My feeling is, to make it easy, we just put this in 11th place for now and see how the rest of them taste. Woo! Coming in as the 6th most popular global barbecue, we have Jamaican jerk chicken. This dish might appear relatively simple, but it actually requires over 30 ingredients and 3 days to make. So the first thing I'll do is start breaking down the chicken, removing both the legs and thighs, and separate the thigh from the drum. And we'll split the breast right down the middle, remove the wings. Next up, we'll make our brine, starting with salt, sugar, garlic, ginger, some habaneros for a nice kick, and some allspice. Can someone in the comments please let me know what allspice is? Like, is it a berry? Is it a spice? Like, what are these things? There's like little seeds in there. It really is a complex flavor. It's almost like it has all the spice. We'll add our water and get it all mixed up. And chicken goes into the brine. We'll let this brine for 24 hours and it should be good to go. It's a little weird to say, but honestly, the smell of this raw chicken is already amazing. And as you can see, it's definitely firmed up a bit from that salt penetrating. We'll pat these down so they're nice and dry, but the next step is where the real magic happens. Time to make the most flavorful marinade known to man. Soy sauce, Worcestershire, ginger, garlic, habaneros. Next we'll add some scallions, and this might be the thickest scallion I've ever seen. I mean, that boy is thick. Next we have some tamarind paste, which is super flavorful. Whole bunch of thyme. This is a recipe that does take a lot of time.
Do you guys get it? It's time, but also time and spice.
Dude, that is a great joke. That is a freaking joke. Let's include that in the video. Brown sugar, cinnamon, allspice, cloves, and finally some salt. And blend. What? And blend. The flavor on that is just out of control. And we'll cover the chicken. And we'll let this marinate overnight. Well, it has been a full day. Let's check on the chicken. And this just looks insane. This has got to be the most flavor-packed chicken I've ever seen. Let's get it on the grill. No low and slow today. We're going high and fast over applewood to make sure we get a nice char. Okay, now we'll throw together the barbecue sauce to really take this over the top. We have some sauteed onions, garlic, and ginger. We got some ketchup, brown sugar, and then some more of that reserved marinade. We'll let that cook down a bit, and finally just blend it up. The chicken is just about done. Now I'll hit it with the barbecue sauce to tack up, and just check out that color. An absurd amount of work for a piece of chicken, but was it worth it? I don't know what is going on with this one, but that takes the cake.
That's unbelievable chicken. It has like a perfect char, but then another coating of incredible sauce. Hands down the best chicken I've ever had.
That is like the most complex, deep flavor on a piece of meat, and it's still juicy.
The flavor doesn't just end with that outer coat. It penetrates so deep into that chicken. That, what was it, a 24-hour brine?
It was the brine, then the marinade.
Then saucing. It is so good. And honestly, I'm a sucker for plantains.
It is not convenient to make, that is for sure. You need time, you need a lot of ingredients.
Definitely a number one for me. I can't imagine something tasting better than this. It's so incredible.
I don't know, we just don't know how good the next ones are gonna be, so I'm worried about putting it as 1.
Kyle, we'll give you this. We'll put it at 2. Let's move on. In 5th place, we are heading on down to South Africa. It's time for a braai. South African braai is the tradition of grilling meat over an open flame and is just as much a social gathering as it is a barbecue. The meats are varied and include lamb, pork, and beef. And we'll throw together our South African marinade. Believe it or not, we're also adding some tea. First time I've ever used tea in a marinade. It's a special South African tea that actually tastes very good. And we'll throw in the rest of our spices, some soy sauce, and of course some salt. And we'll let this marinate for a few hours. Just realized we got a little bit of an interesting cross-contamination situation occurring right now. It's okay, Sophia? We gonna be okay?
I don't know, that's a big Michael.
After a few hours of marination, onto a super hot open fire grill. And that is the color we're looking for. This spiced marinade combination has things like curry powder and turmeric, a completely different flavor profile than what I'm used to in America, and the smell is just off the charts. And can't forget about the shakalaka. It's a fantastic name, shakalaka ding dong.
How did he make it?
What are you talking about? I made the shakalaka. What is this stuff? We got a little bit of cabbage.
Yummers.
Just like my Aunt Nana used to make it. South Africa. Boom shakalaka.
That's really unique. It's like a crunchy veggie curry.
Or like borscht.
The barbecue, it's pretty good. It's just kind of basic. However, I think the cook style is really cool.
Honestly, this is one of my favorites.
Really?
I agree.
The flavor on the outside, it's sweet, just a punch of flavor.
Like all it is essentially marinated meat, but that combination is so different, it's so distinctive. All that said, a pretty strong showing for South Africa. How do you guys feel about 6?
How about 6?
I agree. For now, let's put it at 6.
In 4th place, and my absolute favorite meal of all time, it's time for Korean barbecue. Flank and cut short ribs, also known as kalbi, is the most popular Korean barbecued meat, and it also happens to be my favorite. But this is a tough cut, so it's absolutely critical that we make a tenderizing marinade. We'll need soy sauce, water, ginger, garlic, brown sugar, mirin, honey, sesame oil, onion, sesame seeds, and black pepper. And these here are the most important ingredients. Asian pear, kiwi, and apples contain a natural tenderizing enzyme that turns tough cuts into melt-in-your-mouth tender bites. It can tenderize to the point of making it mushy, so just be careful with how much you use. Wow, it's sweet, it's salty, it's perfect. And we'll cover the short ribs to marinate overnight. And since this is Korean barbecue, we gotta go all out, so we'll add some pork. This right here is the pork shoulder, and it's actually the best part of it. We got the money muscle. And I'll just take some slices. And as you can see, that marbling is fantastic. I'm using the same marinade for the pork, mixing it in. And we'll see these guys tomorrow. It's been 24 hours. Let's check on the meat. The smell is unbelievable, and just by feeling it, I can tell it's a lot more tender. My favorite thing about Korean barbecue is that you get to grill the meat in front of you at the table. It's this incredibly interactive experience. It also blew my mind the first time I saw someone use scissors to slice meat, but when you really think about it, it actually makes a lot of sense. What I also love about this cuisine is that they give unlimited side dishes called banchan with a whole bunch of pickled and fermented items like kimchi. This taste test is gonna be a bit more intense than the rest because we actually have Michelin star Korean barbecue for the comparison. This is their version of the exact same dish we just made, the marinated short ribs. The pressure is on. Everyone get a piece of lettuce. Start with our Korean barbecue, load it up, all the fixing, a little bit of kimchi.
Korean barbecue is Max's favorite food.
Yeah.
It's damn good.
That super flavorful, rich meat combined with like the kimchi, the freshness from the lettuce. It is the perfect bite.
You get the char, you get the yummy marinade, you get these delicious pickled just situations over there.
Gotta taste the Michelin star Korean barbecue. Who invited this guy?
All right, hot take. Max's Korean barbecue is better than Coates. Even accounting for it, I know theirs is delivered. I know it's not hot. This one's flavor is so much more powerful in a really good way. It's just better.
But also keep in mind, we're making small batch. Like,
I can live with it at number 1.
what do you think, Julia?
For sure,
Really?
1,000,000%. Number 1.
That is the best single bite of food I've ever had in my entire life.
What?
Nothing compares. In 3rd place, we have the iconic Argentinian asado. And when it comes to Argentinian barbecue, there is only one person to call.
Hey, it's
Yo, Al, what's up, man?
Maximo, what's going on, man?
I do have a question for you. As the Argentinian grill master of the world, what is the key to authentic Argentinian barbecue?
First, you need an Argentinian grill, right? Because an Argentinian grill is basically a Santa Maria with a firebox in the side, right?
Got it.
Because consider Argentinian grilling is a slow open fire cooking. We cook with embers, not with flame. That's the main key. Number two, you have to have choripan. You know what a choripan is.
Yes. Oh my.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Wow.
I think we can do that. Anything else?
Okay, number three, remember asado is not just a meal, it's an experience. Enjoy the simple things on life. A good fire, good meat, good friends. And it has to last not less than 4 hours.
4 hours?
You know, if you're the asador, you must have a glass of wine the whole time that you're doing an asado.
It's like 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. Do I really need a glass of wine?
It's illegal not to do it, okay?
Okay, sounds good, man. Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Bye, Max.
All right, see ya. Well, you heard the rules. Time to cook. Argentinian asado specializes in many different cuts, but today I'm gonna use flank steak, seasoned traditionally with just salt. I got my Argentinian tagwood grill, shoveling embers to the cook zone under the Santa Maria. To go with the flank, I'm also cooking up some chorizo, a critical component to a dish called choripan, which Al said I am required to make. It's all about enjoying the asado experience around the grill, and given that grilling is my favorite activity in the world, I have a feeling this one's gonna rank high.
Max, what happened?
Big ass spider all up on me. Oh, we got a squirter.
I saw that.
Extremely juicy chorizo, toasted bread, and great color on the flank steak. And we'll assemble the choripan, adding the chorizo to the bread and topping with chimichurri. Paired that with some medium rare flank steak, time to eat.
Next up, Argentina.
It's looking like a sandwich and looking like I'm not gonna like it.
This is great.
I love this.
I actually like the simplicity of it. 3 things: chorizo, chimichurri, good toasted bread.
Good vibes. Dude.
Yeah, good
Solid,
vibes.
yeah.
I think as an appetizer, which I believe in Argentina, this is somewhat of an appetizer or like street food type thing. I think it's great, small quantities.
The flank steak is good. Vacío, which is another Argentinian cut, 10 times better. If we include that, then I do feel like Argentina needs to be pretty high. Cooking style is like the greatest experience in the world.
I really appreciate that open fire where you can kind of move things around. It's very fun to be out there and grilling.
I'd probably put it somewhere in the middle.
I think this should be top 3, I really do. We're gonna put this in 4th place for now, beating out China and India and the rest of them, but there's still a couple more left. For our second most popular, it is time for Brazilian barbecue. And to do this one authentically, you already know who I'm gonna call.
It's Max, the meat guy. What's up, brother?
What's up, Guga? How you doing?
Out here cleaning the grill. No, getting ready for the new year. What's up?
I got a quick question for you. As the king of Brazilian barbecue, what is the key to Brazilian barbecue?
Come on, man. It's picanha. You already know. We don't cook anything else in Brazil. That's what we like. That's what's good. The new young generation are seasoning with crazy things. But traditionally, if you want to do it like Brazilians do, salt only and season it heavily.
Salt, picanha. Let's hope this goes well.
Don't mess it up, Max.
Appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Well, Guga made that very clear. We're starting with picanha. And we'll take some nice thick steaks. And as you can see, the fat cap on this is absolutely massive. Not sure if this is traditional, but I am gonna do a bit of trimming. Still quite a bit, but this should be a lot more manageable. We have that quintessential C shape, and by starting our slices against the grain, once it's time to carve, we'll also be slicing against the grain. And we'll season with some really coarse salt. And of course, black pepper.
Psych!
No. I do not want to see angry Guga. Let's get him on the grill. With so much fat rendering off the picanha, the flames are going crazy, which is really helping out with the crust. Beautiful caramelization, and slicing into it, we have medium rare perfection. Picanha is a really beefy cut that always comes out super juicy. Pair this meal with some authentic Brazilian cheese bread, beans and rice with plenty of chimichurri over the top. Brazil. There's nothing like that meat to fat ratio you get with picanha, and it's so tender. The fat is like sweet.
The meat itself doesn't blow me away. At the end of the day, it's just...
I just want to tell you something right now. As we speak, Guga is watching this video. You are gonna see him in the next month.
Brazilian barbecue is probably my number one. I love picanha. I just don't know if I would put it ahead of Argentinian barbecue.
One thing that I don't love about this is once you slice off that end piece of the picanha, there's not much more crust to meat ratio.
Guys, keep in mind right now, a chicken dish is in second place globally.
It was so good.
Better than this? Better than picanha?
Yeah, it was.
Can we agree it's better than Chinese barbecue?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll throw this in fifth and we'll move on. You guys already know what time it is. Coming in as the #1 most popular barbecue in the entire world, we have American style barbecue. But this one's gonna get a little wild because I am going head to head with not just the best barbecue restaurant in America, but what is widely considered the best barbecue restaurant in the entire world at the end of this. Pressure's on for this one, so this brisket needs to be perfect. For the seasonings, we're keeping it extremely simple, going with the classic Texas barbecue of just salt, nice thick layer on all sides, and of course, black pepper. That's the color we're looking for to develop a great bark. We got a long cook ahead of us, so let's get it on the grill. With the bark where we want it to be, it's time to wrap with some of that rendered beef fat in butcher's paper, and we'll let it finish cooking until probe tender, and this is the result. Before we slice into this beautiful looking brisket, I wanna let you guys know that if you are interested in supporting the channel, Max Jerky is by far the best way to do it. We have all sorts of incredible flavors over at maxjerky.com. Also, comment your favorite barbecue item down below in the comments. I'll choose one lucky person and they'll be receiving 10 free bags of our Texas barbecue. Let's slice her up. Oh yeah, this thing is juicy. I'm not sure if this is the best brisket I've ever cooked, but hopefully it's gonna be enough. And for the comparison, we have a brisket that's traveled 1,000 miles from the world's best barbecue restaurant. This is a brisket flown all the way in from Franklin Barbecue in Austin, Texas. Franklin's is believed by many to be the best barbecue restaurant on the planet, but I really have no idea if the vacuum sealed takeout version of their brisket is any good at all. Definitely smells great. Nice smoke flavor to it. Only time will tell if this thing is actually any good. There's all this congealed fat, but either way we'll get it on a rack, top with some butter, and we'll just reheat in the oven until it's ready to go. I gotta be honest, without even tasting it yet, I know this is going to be incredible. It is so tender and just feels like it's been rendered better than even my fresh brisket that I made today. But at the end of the day, it's how it tastes that counts. We'll start by tasting my brisket. Not the best brisket I've ever had.
Good standard brisket, not really much to change about it.
Now we're gonna be tasting what is widely considered the greatest brisket in the entire world, Franklin's Barbecue. It traveled 1,000 miles to get here.
Whoa.
I'm a very sad man right now. The refrigerated, non-fresh brisket that traveled across the country is definitely better than my brisket.
That is
It's not even close.
Take away the fact that this was takeout brisket that probably took 3 days to get here, and the fact that we had to reheat it, and the fact that we're eating it plain and blah, blah, blah. That is a damn good brisket, and it's definitely better than this one.
It's definitely better.
It still has an incredible crust.
The flavor really penetrated all throughout the meat too. It's salty, it's peppery, it's smoky, it's so good.
Either I don't know how to make brisket, or that is the greatest brisket in the entire world. How do we rank this?
I kind of feel like it's number 2. The jerk chicken was incredible, but this is on another planet.
I don't love super fatty, super rich, super smoky meats, but this is really good.
1, 2, 3,
2.
2.
Wow.
So there it is, unanimous decision. American style barbecue is going in second place. That means that only Korean barbecue beat it out. And our final list looks like this. Thank you all so much for watching. Believe it or not, this is the last video we'll be filming in this studio, so stay tuned and we'll see you next time.